So I'm a painter, and one thing I don't talk about enough is I teach painting classes. I've done painting parties slash classes for kids as young as 10 and women as old as 70. So broad range of students that I have had. One of my favorite classes was one I did last year for my own church. When I do painting parties for youth groups, church groups, women's groups, whatever, a sermon is included that goes along with the painting that the class will be making. So it's a great way to evangelize and, get some word in there, sneak some word in there, and to have a fun activity as well. When my church put on the painting party, I like to call them Painting with a Praise, they wanted me to talk about Ruth and Naomi. And the thing that I focused on was how after they suffered this horrible tragedy with Naomi's husband dying and then her sons dying, first of all, Ruth wanted to stay with Naomi, and she said, "I'll go with you to Israel. Your God will be my God. And I'm going to stick with you. You're my family. I love you." And second of all, Naomi, she was so bitter with her circumstance that she changed her name from Naomi to Bitter Mara. And even though she wanted to be identified as her circumstance, like be identified as the things that were done to her and the things that she had lost, still, when she saw the hand of God moving for Ruth, she was able to give God praise and to give Ruth instruction on how their situation could change for the better. And because Naomi was able to give sound wisdom, sound advice, and to give God praise in the situation, Ruth was able to marry the family redeemer, who was Boaz, and Ruth ended up, having children, and Ruth was the great-grandmother of King David. So Ruth helped birth the line of David, and we all know that Jesus is in the line of David. So even though Naomi wanted to be identified as what was going wrong in her life, she was still able to give God praise, get Ruth with the family redeemer, and so eventually we all could come to our redeemer. In Japanese pottery, there is this phrase called kintsugi, where you take pottery that has been broken and you repair it with lacquer and gold or lacquer and silver, and it shows the history of the object and how it being broken and repaired now has more value than if the object had never been broken at all. So this is the example painting I had up for everybody to copy. It is water lilies in a chipped pot that has been restored with gold. Lilies represent tranquility and purity because they rise above the murky waters and still shine their beauty. And this is the replica of the original painting that I could make within the time frame, because we were at someone else's location and time was very, very short. And another one I want to show was my mother's. And she was not a painter at all. This was only the second time in my life that she allowed me to paint something with her. It's very special to me because it's the last thing that she ever painted. So if you're in the Metro Detroit area and looking for a fun thing to do with your youth group, with your women's group, with your men's group, something fun to do to teach the Word of God and to have a fun little activity, hit me up.